For your consideration this time, the spy, the sportsman, the showgirl, the supermodel, and the slugger. Mike Meyers has an amazing knack for creating annoying catchphrases. Ever since he joined the cast of Saturday Night Livers in 1989, he's been trotting out characters that capture the imagination and stick in your head. From Jewish mother-in-law Linda Richmond and Dude Wayne Campbell, to Austin Powers, Dr. Evil, and the charmingly understated Fat Bastard.
Oh, I'd like to have a go with that, Philly.
Shut your mouth.
Born in Canada to English parents, Mike has mined his British heritage for comedy influences. Peter Sellers, Dudley Moore, Peter Cook and Monty Python are some of his favourites. He's also rather biased when it comes to World Cup soccer.
It's England. It has to be. My dad would come from the grave and get me. So it's a
World Cup fan?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, I'm going to be watching.
Mr. Powers!
Still, when it comes to his beloved hockey, he's all Canadian, and his favourite team is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Following Wayne's World and Wayne's World 2 in the early 90s, Mike defrosted Britain's hippest secret agent to write and produce Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery in 1997. Demi Moore was also a producer on the film, which earned $67 million and brought Yeah Baby back into popular usage. Out from behind the mask of his hilarious screen characters, Mike often comes across as rather serious, and fans anticipating a gut-busting punchline are frequently disappointed, as in his homage to Uber director and producer Steven Spielberg.
When any of us look back at the people who have influenced our lives, we of course think of our families, our friends, our teachers, but somewhere near the top of this list is this man, Steven Spielberg. I truly can't think of another human being who has influenced the modern world more than he has as a filmmaker and a great humanitarian. The name Spielberg is to entertainment what Einstein is to physics.
However, he is able to let his hair down occasionally, and he certainly isn't above being slimed at the annual Kids' Choice Awards.
In order to fart, you have to eat. So who's up for some camel boogers? Huh? I got them backstage from Fatima. Yeah, okay, let's go. Tastes just like chicken.
Following up the first Austin Powers with the even more successful The Spy Who Shagged Me, Mike pocketed $25 million against 21% of the box office for Goldmember with Beyoncé in 2002.
I should warn you, Foxy, 2002 is very different.
Well, the future better get ready for me, because I'm Foxy Cleopatra, and I'm a whole lot of woman.
His artistic integrity may have forced him to pull out of a $20 million project to play his Saturday Night Live character Dieter on the big screen. But in 2003, he went through with his commitment to bring the role of Dr. Seuss's Cat in the Hat to life in the film of the same name.
The fish is talking.
But is he saying anything? No, not really.
Nowadays, Mike is best known for his ugly green animated alter ego Shrek, who he's been delighted to provide the voice for 3 times.
I told you coming here was a bad idea.
They're my parents.
You start to fall in love with all the other characters, and you forget that it's Eddie Murphy or Cameron Diaz or Antonio Banderas. You just see them, you see the donkey and you see Princess Fiona and you see the cat. And you do it over such a long period of time. You get to redo stuff, which is fun. And I just love being in that world. So it's a lot of fun.
With video game releases and a 4th installment already planned for 2010, the lovable ogre isn't about to run out of steam, and should cover the rent well enough for Mike to line up a few more creative projects, like playing the lead role in the upcoming biopic of the Who drummer Keith Moon.
Where's the baby?
Soccer's #1 pin-up and biggest earner, holds the dubious honour of being the first England captain ever to be sent off. On the brighter side, though, he's also the first England player ever to have scored in 3 World Cup competitions, before being unceremoniously dumped from the side in July 2006. After captaining his country through 50 international matches, he was philosophical about being left out of the squad.
Yeah, it was hard at the time, I must admit, but I think I've been through ups and downs in my career, and I think it's, I've had disappointments, and this is a disappointment. It's of course upset me to a certain extent, but there's other things in life, and there's more important things that go on in the world, and you have to get over disappointments, and that's what I teach the kids here at the academy, and that's what the coaches teach the kids. When you have disappointment, this is how you get over them.
Disappointments he's had to overcome have included breaking the 2nd metatarsal bone in his left foot, being cut above the eye with a ball kicked by Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson, and being hounded by tabloids after his former personal assistant Rebecca Lewis claimed he'd been playing away from home in more ways than one during his stint with Real Madrid. Despite rumours of a split from wife Victoria, the celebrity pairing that began in 1997 and became known as Posh and Beck stayed firm. His image has been used to sell shoes, razors, milk, soft drink, chocolate, cosmetics and mobile phones. He's even launched his own scent. Posh and Becks have spawned such ludicrous media demand, there's enough slack to finance a pair of lookalikes who score regular gigs on the strength of their physical resemblance.
Yeah, I have met David, and we was dressed exactly the same. They had the tattoos drawn on me, and I'm not sure if he liked it, I think he was a bit spooked by it. But David's a lovely person, and I'm sure it'll be fine.
And when the hectic schedules of the real Posh and Becks put paid to a cameo appearance in 2001's comedy hit Bend It Like Beckham, the lookalikes happily filled in. Many football fanatics have criticised him for concentrating more on his extracurricular activities than his football, but he still makes time to put back into the game. As well as fathering 3 potential football stars of the future, he's opened academies for kids around the world.
I've always said that would be nice. It would be great to find future stars, but at the end of the day, that's not what the academy is about. It's about achieving something for kids to come down and have fun and have the ability to learn about the sport, about football, learn about healthy eating, learn about different parts of the body, different injuries and things like that. And it's also a lot about learning about life as well, and responsibilities, and it's not just a soccer academy, it's about different things, and that's what we're trying to learn.
But nothing lasts forever, and with David's serious football career nearing the end of its natural life, something had to be done to secure the future of their extravagant lifestyle. Since Victoria started hobnobbing with the likes of Katie Holmes and Jennifer Lopez, it made sense to consider a move stateside.
Yeah, I think, we was in New York for 5 days and we loved it there, but, now we've come here, it's amazing, so maybe one day we will.
If playing for a little-known side in a home ground labelled a wasteland deals a knock to his ego, the thickness of his pay packet will surely soften the blow. He stands to earn $50 million a year for the next 5 years, enough to ensure that Posh lives up to her nickname long after he's hung up his boots. In her hometown of Melbourne, she's known affectionately as Kylie from Camberwell and the singing budgie. But since warbling her first hit, she soared like an eagle to the stratospheric heights of international superstardom. After spending her teenage years in the shadow of kid sister Danny, she shot into the limelight as motor mechanic Charlene Mitchell in Neighbours, opposite real-life partner Jason Donovan. Upon wowing the audience at a football club benefit concert with her version of Little Eva's Locomotion, she was signed up with Mushroom Records and sent to the UK to work with hit churners Stock, Aitken and Waterman. 20 UK top 10s later, her level of celebrity and list of achievements have left Danny and Jason for dead. She's won Grammys, Brits and Arias, collaborated with a who's who of producers and performers, played sellout shows at Wembley Arena and appeared in movies. Her show-stopping turn in Baz Luhrmann's Moulin Rouge earned her a nomination for Best Cameo at the MTV Movie Awards. She inspired ex-lover Michael Hutchence to write Suicide Blonde. She's turned a pair of charity shop hot pants into a cultural treasure. She's even designed her own line of lingerie.
Go down the high street these days and you can very affordably buy a look that you feel like on that particular day. So I wanted the range to reflect that. And there's different names for the different styles. You have Fever, Envy, Vamp. You know, if you're feeling girly or flirtatious or you're out on a hot date, you can kind of take your pick.
Of course, she'd never expect a model to expose more flesh than she would. Despite all her accolades, she still cherishes the prospect of winning an award.
It would mean an awful lot. I'm fully prepared for not winning anything, in which case it's a really special, important evening for me to be performing here. I've never performed at the Brits. I've presented many awards, I've been here many times, but for me it's a chance to have not just myself but the team that I work with. I can't stress how important that is for me.
Her apparent humility, juxtaposed with her diva-like style, have helped win over legions of gay male fans, who've remained die-hard throughout the many image changes of her 2 decades at the top. She once joked, however, that she wasn't a traditional gay icon. There's been no tragedy in my life, just tragic outfits. All that changed with her breast cancer diagnosis in 2005. But instead of crumbling under the stress, Kylie visited children with cancer at the Royal Children's Hospital in her hometown of Melbourne to share her spirit to fight for life, and used her celebrity to create greater awareness of the disease.
And being breast aware, which is the message that she's giving out, is really important. 41,000 women are diagnosed with this disease every year in the UK. So being breast aware and recognising the signs and symptoms of breast cancer is really important.
Throughout her illness, she reportedly rejected offers of marriage from lover Olivier Martinez, suspecting they were made out of pity. And although the relationship lasted well beyond announcements of her recovery, the pair split early in 2007. But then she hardly has time for a relationship with commitments like collaborating with Dolce & Gabbana on stage outfits.
But it's nice to work with people that you've got a history with, and we worked together on my Fever tour in 2002, and so the guys learned about what functionality you need for a stage show. To be quick in and out, it has to last 50 shows. There's a whole kind of other set of things you have to take into account, and they did it with aplomb.
While she was recovering from breast cancer, she found distraction in writing a children's book called The Showgirl Princess. She also collaborated in concocting her own cologne.
Isn't it a girl's dream? It certainly was one of mine, and it wasn't something that I took on board as a whim, as you know, because we spoke about it for a long, long time. And I wanted to do it properly, to do it beautifully, and to have something that I could be really proud of.
By January 2007, still sporting the cropped hairdo, she was back on top of Glamour magazine's best dress list. Perhaps it's her ability to continually recreate herself and expand her horizons that has brought her such enduring success. But if you want to know the real secret, just ask Stefano Gabbana.
A nice person. He's a great pop star, but this is what I love, is the personality of Kylie.
She may not have been the brightest spark at Riddlesdown High School in South London. She may only have grown to a height of 5 foot 6 inches. But last year alone, Kate Moss pocketed £8 million, making her the world's second highest paid model behind Gisele Bündchen. And that was despite losing a £4 million contract with H&M and being dropped by Chanel and Burberry in the wake of her alleged coke-snorting exposure. It all started in 1988, when at the age of 14, Kate was discovered by store model management founder Sarah Ducasse at JFK Airport in New York. She appeared in the Face magazine the next year, and since playing Lolita for John Galliano at the age of 15, she's graced 300 magazine covers and holds 18 of the fashion world's most coveted modelling contracts, with the likes of Calvin Klein, Bulgari, Louis Vuitton, Stella McCartney, Versace and Dior. She's also starred in an ad campaign for lingerie boutique Agent Provocateur.
Kate Moss has got something that no one else has got, and no one else can find it, and so that's why they use Kate, because she's the best at what she does.
There was this corridor.
The campaign took the form of 4 one-minute film episodes, which were launched from the Agent Provocateur website. The first day of release, the site was so overloaded with hits it crashed. The film's director, Mike Figgis, numbers himself among her fans.
Without a doubt, she's the best model I've ever worked with, you know. I mean, all you really have to do is get the light right, and then she hears the shutter, and every time the shutter goes, she gives you another look. You don't have to ask for it. And then if you ask for something, she'll give you that too. So I'd say she is called a supermodel because actually she is the best supermodel around. She's the best at her job. She is the Schumacher of modeling, you know.
In the 1990s, she provided a foil to the tall and curvaceous figures of Cindy Crawford, Claudia Schiffer and Naomi Campbell. She popularised Ugg boots, skinny jeans and denim cut-off shorts. And her waif look prompted much speculation about her eating habits. In 1998, she checked herself into a psychiatric centre for so-called exhaustion. She later confessed to drinking before hitting the catwalk. Despite the controversy, the public can't get enough of Kate, as Vogue editor Alexandra Schulman understands.
Kate Moss sells a magazine, and as I think you pointed out to me, 23 times she's been on the cover. Different times that we've had her on the cover, I think she has been on the cover for different reasons. I mean, we had her on the cover when she just had a child, and I think in a way people were interested that she was a model and she'd become a mother. We had her on the cover shortly after all of the cocaine scandal. When was it? A year or so ago. She represents different things, but essentially what she represents is somebody that my readers are interested in, and the clothes look fantastic on her. She has a kind of sexy mystique, I think, that is unrivaled, really. And every cover we have her on is a good cover for us.
That mystique extends to her private life, making her as popular with the paparazzi as with fashion photographers. As well as rumours of a lesbian affair with close friend Sadie Frost, she's obliged them by stepping out with Billy Zane, serial model dater Leonardo DiCaprio and Evan Dando of the Lemonheads. Her daughter Leela Grace was fathered by Dazed and Confused editor Jefferson Hack, and most famously, she dated Johnny Depp for 3 years. In fact, some of her so-called close friends claimed that it was her split from Depp that caused her downward spiral into drink and drugs. Whatever the reason, she certainly met her ideal drinking partner in Baby Shambles frontman Pete Doherty. And Daily Telegraph fashion editor Hilary Alexander suggests that Kate is one of those obsessive, depressive personalities that latches onto something as a kind of life jacket. But we'll leave the last word to a rather more positive Serena Rees from Agent Provocateur.
There's so much, depressing things going on in the world, and it's like, enjoy life a bit, have some fun. And we all had fun. Kate had fun, Mike had fun, everyone else can have fun. I like that. It's good.
Russell Crowe is a passionate man. Off-screen, that passion has earned him a conviction for assault and fueled a string of skirmishes with producers, bodyguards and fellow diners. On-screen, it's won him countless accolades and multi-million-dollar pay packets. Born in New Zealand and growing up in Australia, his passion as a neo-Nazi skinhead got him noticed in Romper Stomper. Sharon Stone was so impressed she insisted on having him for the part of the reformed hired gun in Quick and the Dead. But his big breakthrough came in 1997 with LA Confidential. In 1999, he really hit his straps as a whistleblowing research biologist in The Insider. It earned him the first of 3 back-to-back Oscar nominations for Best Actor. He won the Gong the following year for remembering his character's ridiculous name in Gladiator.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius.
He struck gold again the following year, playing a character with more brain than brawn in Ron Howard's A Beautiful Mind.
Welcome to Princeton. Who among you will be the next Einstein?
Find a truly original idea, and it's the only way I will ever distinguish myself. It's the only way I will ever matter.
Russell Crowe.
Very enjoyable. I mean, your peers pat you on the back and tell you that they've noticed that you've, worked with a level of commitment or whatever. And, what can you say about it? It's appreciated.
With a Golden Globe and SAG award already in the bag, Russell scuppered his own chances of scoring back-to-back Oscars by allegedly manhandling the producer responsible for cutting down his acceptance speech at the BAFTAs. He shot himself in the foot again 3 years later, when he threw a phone at a hotel employee who refused to help him make a call while in New York filming. After being charged with second-degree assault and being in possession of a criminal weapon, the phone, he paid $100,000 in a civil settlement. Many criticised him for not being able to keep his pugilistic tendencies within the confines of the ring on the set of The Cinderella Man.
But I tell you what, I had fun on this movie every day, regardless of the pain, regardless of, the MRIs and the scans and the cortisone injections and the physiotherapy, regardless of all of that stuff. Every single day on this movie, I was enjoying myself. I think that, Braddock's legacy deserves the effort, and I think he as a man, deserves the legacy.
Co-starring as his wife, Renee Zellweger applauded his commitment to the role of real-life boxing legend Jim Braddock.
I mean, I've wanted to work with Russell for such a long time. I respect his work ethic, the way he approaches the work, what it is that he values about working within this medium, how he won't compromise in terms of authenticating the role he's going to play. I couldn't wait, and it was everything I expected. Not disappointed at all.
Another leading lady he rather impressed was 90s romantic comedy queen Meg Ryan. The pair were seen gallivanting around Australia together for months after co-starring in Proof of Life. But rumours of a more formal union came to naught when Russell rekindled the flame with his former girlfriend Danielle Spencer, who he married in 2003, sporting the ponytail he'd grown to play Captain Jack Aubrey in Master and Commander.
As she says every now and then, it's like, we may not be normal, but we have our own way of working things out in terms of, the rhythms and when we can be together and when we can't be together and how we deal with being apart.
Fatherhood seems to agree with him, and despite the fact that there have been no big awards or box office successes over the past few years, he's pretty content.
Well, the last year of my life's been pretty special. I've made 2 movies with my favourite director, Ridley Scott, and I welcomed the birth of my second son, Tennyson. So it's, that to me personally has been a very good year.
But audiences and critics, unmoved by his shift to the lighter side, might be hankering for a taste of his old fighting spirit.